Welcome to the OhioRAAM Show.
Well, hello, it's Lee Kreider here with the OhioRAAM Show, a show about ultra cycling in all kinds of forms. And Jim?
I'm Jim Lawyer. Very good, Lee. How about yourself? Again, I'm Jim Lawyer. I'm Lee's sidekick for this wonderful journey. And the OhioRAAM Show is brought to you by all of our time stations here in Ohio. 41 Oxford, 42 Blanchester, and 43 in Chillicothe.
Okay, well, Jim, you got some news for us?
Yeah, I didn't get a lot because I've been having technical issues with the computer. But we'll do the RAM update first real quick. Again, no change this week. 3 and 2 person, 7 and 4 person, 5 and 8 person, 35 still in solo, and 18 countries represented. So it will be a great race next year, I believe.
Yeah, we've had, I think that country representing looks pretty good, Jim.
Yes, definitely. And hopefully we will have everybody cleared to come in by then and everything will go smooth.
Jim, when we reported on the World Time Trials last week, we didn't report on the fact that we had 3 women that topped 400 miles.
Definitely, and that was my oversight. I was in a hurry doing things and didn't update that with that information. So we want to congratulate them.
That's
yes.
noteworthy. I don't know if that's a record or not, but that was Christy Tracy, who's been on the show many times, Carolyn Hansen from Denmark, and Paige Redmond from somewhere in Arizona.
Yes.
They all did more than 400 miles, and so that's a good thing. And we ought to shout out to Jen Orr. I think hers was 388.
Yes, definitely.
And she's coming back from a massive injury.
Yes.
So I think despite the fact she didn't crack 400 miles, and while we're on that subject, Meg Hakkinen didn't make it because she was isolating because she'd been exposed to COVID. And she would probably have easily cracked the 400-mile mark in 24 hours. But we got some sad news from Meg. They were on some sort of race. I didn't put the details down here. Her and her partner. And I gather when they come back for a pit stop, it wasn't the end of the race, Jim.
Right, yes.
Somebody had broken out the windows in their car, had taken literally everything.
Everything, yes.
Their clothing, their food, their
kits,
spare parts,
yes.
their tools. I mean, they just stripped that car.
Yep.
And, of course, without their food supply and so forth, they had to stop right there. And that's really sad. I hope they recover okay from that. You know, we've all left our cars parked.
Yes, when we go out riding all the time. Yes.
And I've never been bothered.
Nope.
Now, I don't know what kind of environment they were in, but I mean, that's a concern. It's just so sad that somebody would do that. And Meg, we just shout out to you and hope things go really well for you. Definitely. And you get back from that. Hey, we've got some people watching.
Yes,
so
definitely.
We would like you to put up a tag there and say where you're at.
Yes,
just
definitely.
Tell us where you're at. I know where Doug's at.
I know where Doug is too. I think
I do.
Yeah, I think he just got back from the World Time Trials, actually.
Just got back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let us know where you're at, because everybody that posts here will get a chance to win something at the end of the show.
Definitely.
So be sure to put your post in here, folks.
Definitely.
Have we got any other business to take care of, Jim?
I don't think so. I think everything, like I said, due to my problems, I didn't get to do a lot of research like I wanted to. So we'll be better next week with more news.
Yeah, both Jim and I have been having computer issues when we started up this evening. So, but if you're out there watching, if you're on Facebook, go up there and follow us.
Yes.
If you're on YouTube, go down there and hit that subscribe button. And the more you give us likes and shares and comments and what have you, the more our show is seen.
Definitely. And Rose is out there in Iowa.
Well, I think she's right next door to our guest. So let's get right out to Deanne Herr she's in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Deanna. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
Well, we're doing okay here.
That's good.
We told Deanna before we went on the air, if Jim and I both go dark here, she just has to keep talking.
That's right. You'll be the new host and co-host.
You'll be the new host of the OhioRAAM Show. But
Boy.
Yeah. Well, we just try to enjoy ourselves and have fun here.
Definitely.
Deanna, I gathered from what you said before on the air, you haven't been in the heavy-duty cycling business too long.
No, I'm a little bit of a late bloomer. I started racing my bike when I was 52 years old. So I've been racing for about 3 years.
Awesome. What made you get into racing? Just out of curiosity.
Well, kind of funny story. I really was not interested in racing my bike, honestly. I started out just a casual cyclist. I was looking for women to ride my bike with, and happened to discover my cycling team, Bella Rosa Cycling, out of Des Moines. And I joined the team, made sure that I didn't have to race my bike in order to be a member of the team, because I didn't race my bike. I didn't want to race my bike. They said, no, you can just ride casually and ride with friends. And so I became a member, and then I started learning about lots of things that I didn't really even know existed, like riding your bike on gravel. I didn't know people did things like that. I only rode on the bike trail, and it kind of went from there.
So you started on the bike trail as a roadie kind of deal,
And
then you moved to gravel.
Yes. I bought my first gravel bike in 2017. So that was the first time I had ridden on gravel at all. And then I did my first gravel race. My first race ever actually was in 2018. And that was 100K. It was at 24 Hours of Coming here in central Iowa.
Yeah. I just fall on gravel, so I applaud you.
Yeah, I enjoy the peacefulness of the gravel and the lack of cars. It's sometimes hard to find, outside of the trails, safe places to ride. And so I do enjoy being able to get out in the countryside and not really have to worry about traffic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk about HooDoo. But first of all, what are some of the gravel events you have done?
Well, like I said, 24 Hours of Coming was my first one, and I've come back and done that one a couple other times. I've done the 200K twice. Some of the other ones, Sarah Cooper puts on a couple of really nice races in the area, the Iowa Gravel Classic. I've done that one a couple of times. I'm actually going to race her Spotted Horse race next weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
There's been a few others. I went out to Herman, Missouri, and did the Tour of Herman earlier this year. Trying to think, what are some of the other ones? Like just, lots of smaller type races. Longest gravel I've done is a 200K. So this 150 miles this next weekend will be my longest gravel race.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about HooDoo. Was HooDoo your first race on pavement?
It was actually my second. My first one in 2020, I did the Texas time trials. That was my first attempt at any kind of a road thing. Well, I did one crit local and decided crit racing is not for me. And I like the time trial format to be able to just compete against myself, really. And so I enjoyed that. So I did go out in Texas and I did the 12-hour. And it went very well. I placed first for the women that year, and I was the over 50 first place.
Awesome.
So it went well. I had a little nutrition trouble. I had to learn and that's been something I've worked on quite a bit. I bonked at about 175 miles and had to kind of come around from that. But it was a good learning experience and taught me what I didn't know. And so I, was able to work on that. And that was really good for getting ready for, a 3-day event like HooDoo. So.
Awesome. What made you want to do HooDoo?
Oh, gosh. Well, I know you've interviewed Heather Poskovich several times. Heather did the nonstop HooDoo race a couple years ago. And she, the pictures and just her description of the event, it just sounded like an awesome event. But I've always been a little averse to riding all night long. And I found out that HooDoo had a stage race, and that appealed to me. Like I said, I was at Texas Time Trials, and on my way home from the Texas Time Trials, we found out about a local cyclist, a friend of ours, who had passed away suddenly. And I decided really then that, the time to do something big was now. I was already 54 years old, and I thought, I'm not getting any younger. I'm in the shape of my life. I just really want to try something outside of my comfort zone, something I'd never done. And, Utah, you can't beat the scenery in Utah. And it just seemed like a really great place to go. So that's kind of how I wound up there.
Awesome.
Hey, I know there's several people out there. Check in,
Yes.
Tell us where you're at by just commenting on either YouTube or Facebook, either place. And I know that Carol is out there and Nicholas is out there. So we want to hear from you. So we get you in the hopper here for
Definitely
the prizes at the end. So it's 3 stages that you did. Now HooDoo has several different types of race, don't they? They have the stage race plus the continuous.
They do. Yeah, they have. So the stage race starts on Friday. They also have, they have a stage race, a 500-mile option and a 300-mile option. Then they also, you can do it as a team of 2 or 4. There were a couple of mixed teams, male and female. And then the nonstop starts on Saturday, and we all then finish on Sunday.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So this is a little confusing for us dot watchers here. As I was dot watching HooDoo this year, I saw that you were the first one in, I believe.
I was.
And so you were the first one in, but that was 3-day stages.
Yes.
Versus the ones going around the clock.
Yes.
But still you were first. But I believe you were the first one at the end of every stage. Is that correct? Somewhere I read that.
That's
yes,
awesome.
Yes. I was able to win all 3 stages. Yeah.
And that's
great.
I hope Shoshana Pellier doesn't hear me say this, Jim. But you were the overall winner.
I was.
Men and women.
Yes.
Now, Shu is our resident feminist, honest keeper. She gets on our case every once in a while, Jim, about how we talk here. But I don't know how else to say it. And recognize the fact that this is remarkable. Now, you follow in the footsteps of Heather Poskovich, who went out and did the same thing from Iowa and gravel.
She did.
So what is it about? And then you got Sarah Cooper, who cut her teeth on gravel.
Yeah.
And she goes out and wins, I believe she wins Sebring once. Maybe not overall, but she did win Race Across the West overall, Jim. So what is it about you women and gravel in Iowa?
That's a good question. I've thought about that because you had mentioned that before. What is it about Iowa women and gravel? I don't know if it's Iowa women and gravel, but Iowa gravel is, Iowa's not flat. Some of you
there
have ridden you know that.
Yes.
But getting off the road, it's even hillier. it's not uncommon to go out on a 100-mile ride and have 7, 8, 9,000 feet of climb, which
Wow. Yeah.
is, yes, it's not nonstop like a mountain, but you never really get a break either. It's a constant up and down, and you might get a few seconds downhill and you're climbing again.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the relentlessness of that, and that you just never. You don't get a chance to coast. You don't get a chance to take it easy. You're working all the time, and I think that's part of it. I think we just get used to pedaling all the time.
Well, I've not had much experience with gravel, but I know, unlike pavement, you're riding downhill as well often.
Yeah, you do.
You have to put work to it to get down the hill.
Yeah.
Do you think the gravel has helped you on the road, handling wise, just overall riding skills?
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I really enjoy riding on the road because it's not as much to think about. Because when you're on gravel, you're always trying to choose a line, trying to find the smoothest route if possible, trying to avoid whatever obstacles are out there, sand and, big rocks and animals and, whatever.
Yeah.
And, so yeah, I do think, but you learn how to manage, if your bike bounces around a little bit, it doesn't mean you're going to fall over, and it's, I have a long ways to go with my handling skills. I am not a mountain biker. I have so much respect for the people that can go over all of the logs and the rocks and all that kind of stuff. And that's something I need to work on. But yes, gravel is definitely a stepping stone toward those handling skills for sure.
Gotcha. What is your next big plan in the future? Any more gravel, or are you strictly going to work on going towards the road?
I hope to do a little of both.
Okay.
I've been starting to think about my schedule for next year. I don't have anything specific in place other than I have a gravel race, next weekend. That'll be kind of the end of my season for this year. I'm looking at some of the other RAAM qualifying events. I like the format of a lot of those. And I think I'm going to challenge myself to do more of a 24-hour kind of thing this time. So far, my longest at any one time has been about 12 and a half hours. HooDoo was my longest day, was just under 12 hours. And so I haven't pushed myself beyond the 12 hours yet. So I think that will probably be something I do next.
Gotcha. And Larry gave us a comment, and he would like to know what gravel race you would most likely say the big ones is the best that you think.
Well, because I haven't done that many. The bigger ones, really the only bigger one I've done is Gravel Worlds. And I enjoyed that a lot. Of course, I'm looking at Unbound, Gravel Worlds again. There's Rebecca's Private Idaho. There's a couple others that are really appealing. It's, working them all into the schedule as far as, all some of the other things I want to do. That's really what's driving it right now. I think they all are great events, and I think they'd all be a lot of fun. I did just buy a new gravel bike. It's not here yet. So, I'm going to have to go out and play with it.
Definitely. Awesome.
Hey, let's make sure that everybody out there watching makes a comment. So you make a comment of any kind, your name gets put in a hopper here, and we'll have a little drawing at the end. So just make a comment. Just tell us where you're at. If nothing else, say I'm in who knows where.
And Larry asked another question.
There's Aunt Susie again.
Yes. Hey, Aunt Susie. I'll put her up here real quick, and then we'll get to Larry's question.
That's our Aunt Susie.
Yes.
It's Jim's real aunt.
Yes.
It's my adopted
aunt. Yes.
Aunt.
She lives in Arkansas, so.
I hadn't seen her for a while, Jim.
No. So I'm glad she's back watching. Definitely. So Larry asked, do you like grassroots rides more?
I really do like the grassroots rides. There's just something about the community of the people that ride those races. So supportive of everyone, and just really celebrating each other's, just the small victories, the big victories, and really that's how I learned to ride, is being around people that were willing to mentor me and to show me how to do all these things that I had no idea, when I got started. So it's that part of it is really fun, just that community.
Gotcha.
Well, you don't always ride your bike. You're not only a mother, but you're a grandmother, as I understand. How many grandchildren do you have?
I have 3 grandchildren, a 7-year-old granddaughter and 2 grandsons that are 5 and 3. And they happen to live very close to me, so they keep me busy.
And I understand that they are starting to feel the impulse to get on their bikes and
yes.
do
My granddaughter she's already riding and can't wait to become a Velarosa. She keeps asking when she can start riding her bike. So I may have another generation coming up that likes to race. And
yeah, well, that's always great, and I see that so often. It's really, really fine.
Would you, in your opinion, recommend somebody that's just a road rider try gravel and see what it is like for them?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's, and gravel varies so much depending on what part of the country you're riding in, so get out with somebody that rides and just kind of let them take you along and show you, how to pick a line, how to handle your bike on some of the rougher stuff and, that sort of thing. But it's just fun to do something a little different. You see the back roads that not everybody gets to see.
Gotcha.
And just the peacefulness of it, quite often it's just you and your bike, and you don't really see anybody for miles and miles, and that's kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a safety factor involved here too, isn't there?
There is.
I mean, that doesn't mean that you can't have problems with traffic on gravel. I'm sure you can, but certainly my impression is those roads aren't nearly so busy as your paved roads.
No, and that really is a big thing for me. I've been pretty lucky, but I have several friends that have had some close calls on the road. Gravel, really, dogs are sometimes a problem. Occasionally you'll get somebody that's kind of flying along and, you get dusted out and that sort of thing. But, I'm usually, I've got my lights on, I've got my flashers on, and you can usually see for quite a distance. So, other than if you happen to be in a cloud of dust, you're usually pretty visible, and you're usually out there, you're usually a novelty, honestly. People are really curious what you're up to. And they're starting to see now in Iowa, there's getting to be a lot of us riding gravel. But for a long time, people would ride by and they'd look out their window or they'd wave or, couldn't quite believe that there was people out on their bikes on the gravel. And that's kind of fun. So, getting the farmer waves and so on. Yeah. Yeah,
because they had a gravel loop this year on Ragbri.
They did.
Yes. So, and I see that a lot more on some of the other tours too.
How'd that San Marino handle that?
I didn't do the gravel. Not on that one. No.
Jim just got a new Spiegel
bike.
Bike, and he gave it its maiden voyage, almost maiden voyage on maiden serious voyage on Ragbri.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
Anybody else got any questions out there you'd like to ask? Let's get them in here before we bring this thing to a halt. And if you'd like to get in on the drawing that's coming up here, we haven't said yet what we're going to give away.
That's right.
We'll kind of keep that under wraps for a little bit.
There you go.
But let us know, and let us know where you're at out there.
Definitely.
Jim, there's one thing in the news we didn't get into, and I forgot to put it in my notes here.
I think I know who you're talking about.
We're going to talk about Joe Barr, this crazy Irishman. Had this showdown between himself and an electric car this week. We followed it with great interest.
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever had a chance to meet or get acquainted with or learn about Joe Barr, Deanna, but He lives in Northern Ireland. He's actually a citizen of Ireland, of the Republic. But he had a showdown between electricity and oatmeal. And Jim, I always thought Joe was kind of even tempered, you know.
Yeah.
I've known him a few years, and he's kind of calm. But he got in a real snit over this, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
I mean, he was throwing books around and kicking stuff, and I don't know what all. So I haven't heard any results. The electric car run down, I know.
Yeah, he actually outlasted the electric car.
I think there was some cheating, though, Jim.
Cheating on whose part?
I think somebody in the car was turning stuff on.
Yes, to reduce the battery life. Like the heater.
Turning the heat up, plugging stuff in, the plug in. I think there was a little of that. But we're going to find out about that in a couple of weeks here, because Halloween night,
yes, a spooky.
we're going to Northern Ireland. Now, where else could you want to go on Halloween but Northern Ireland to talk with Joe, not just about his electric car episode, but also he's launching a new book. He tells me there's a book on their way here for us. So we'll be giving a book away at that time for Joe's book. But next week, we're going to have on a 2-person male team from the United Kingdom, Pedals and Pasties. For those who,
right?
You ever hear of a pasty?
Yes.
Deanna?
Yes.
You know what they are?
Yes, I do.
They're these hand pies that the miners took down into the mines, and we call them hand pies here, I think, or so forth. But these wonderful meat pies they make over there, I don't know what the connection is. We'll find out.
Yep.
They'll be here next week at 3:00. We've kind of been bouncing around about what to do about time, and we'll probably be experimenting with that a little bit.
Yeah, and if anybody watching or whatever has any ideas or what time would work best, what you think, let us know. Yeah, that'll help us make a decision.
Put a comment in, even if the show's over.
Yeah.
Put the comment in. We'd love to hear from you. The question is, should we go on at like 7:00 Eastern time every week?
Right.
Which means that's going to be midnight, 1:00 for people in UK and Europe, and so forth. And that's a problem for guests, problem for for our viewers. Our theory has always been that we would like to target our time for Sunday evenings for our guests, and the theory being that a lot of our viewers would be in the same area as our guests. We were told by some people who know a lot about this that that's the wrong thing to do. Make the guests get up in the middle of the night and come on. Well,
luckily for you, you live in Iowa, right?
That worked out well for me.
There you go.
Iowa. But if you're in India or Australia or even Europe, it gets to be a problem. So let us know what you think. Do you mind that we come on different times? Most everybody watches the recording anyhow. So anyhow, that's enough about that. There you go. What are we giving away tonight?
Well, I want to get Doug's question on here.
Oh, okay.
He was asking, what bike do you ride?
Well, I'm been riding a giant TCX, a cyclocross bike. But just was told by my mechanic that it's time to replace. I've worn the poor thing out. I've been riding her for about 4 years. So I just purchased an Open Up, and I'll be moving into that once it arrives.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. Well, okay. I think we'll do the giveaway now. Correctly.
And did we get Dean Stott's comment on here?
I popped it up there. Yeah, we'll do it again.
Okay, I didn't see it. All right.
From Northwest Indiana. I'm assuming that's what it is.
Up there in that corner.
Yes, definitely.
Where the time's always different.
Let me get this flipped around here and get things ready. We're going to go ahead and do our good $10 Bike Club 1 year membership to that for the lucky winner of the drawing today.
Okay, we'll
go ahead and let it go.
There's always, you never quite, you think you've won, and then all of a sudden somebody else pops up.
Yep. It's crazy how they do that.
Yeah. Rose, no, it isn't going to be.
Mark.
Two
There you
rows,
go.
2 wins, 2 weeks in a row.
Do you want to go ahead and draw again?
No, we didn't. If we'd have said
No.
that ahead of time.
Gotcha.
No.
That's cool.
That's
All
the way
right.
it works.
So again, there you go. Info to winner at OhioRAAM Show Live, and I believe we already have it. So
I
you're the
actually got
lucky
his
winner.
address.
Okay, you're the lucky winner of the $10 Bike Club 1 year membership.
And the heck of it is, we've got a couple people from Denmark who, well, they haven't
Watch
been
religiously.
here tonight. They are
Yes.
here religiously. They both put their names in, husband and wife, and they never win anything. We might just have to give them something. I don't know, Jim.
I think we should. Yes, we'll give them a
Yeah.
little OhioRAAM Show swag.
Yeah,
You're welcome, Mark.
We'll do something.
There you go.
Hey, Deanna.
Thanks, Aunt Susie. Had to get that in there.
Yeah, you got to look after your family. Hey, let's see if we can't get. I found him. Deanna, thank you so much.
Yes,
I hope
thank you
we've
very
been
much.
Pronouncing your name right this whole time.
Yes, you're doing fine. Thank you.
I had
And
Thanks for having me.
good friend with that whose
Yeah.
daughter was that name, so I took one. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, and we'll catch you. We'll catch you at Ragbri next year when we come out there. We'll try to find
Stay
you.
in
Sounds great.
touch,
Sounds
Deanna. Stay in touch. If you've got any
will.
news about yourself or anybody else, you know how to find us.
I do.
Yep.
Just let
Thank
us
you.
know, because
Yes.
we like to follow people and keep in touch with them and help build the family. We had a little conversation about that this week with Marco about the role of family in the ultra cycling community. It's time to get out of here, Jim.
All right.
And let's see. I found him here.
Yep. All right.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Hang out with
See
us
ya.
for a second, Deanna.
Yeah, hang in there, Deanna, but don't go
Okay.
away.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.